welcome back to the Drinking Game College Edition. Now we're going to be transitioning into something a little bit more serious. This next game is going to be about true stories that have happened to real people and the stigmas and shame associated with negative alcohol behaviors. So is everyone ready? This game is called Brew Confessions, and it's a game in which each contestant will have one personal alcohol-related story and one false lie card in front of them. The other contestants will pick which card the contestant reads, but will not know if it's true or not. After the contestant reads the card out loud, the others must decide if this is a personal story or a lie by asking questions. They have 30 seconds to answer the questions. And remember, the contestant with the lowest score will not make it into the final round, so choose carefully. Now, let's get started. For this game, we'll go in reverse order. So that means, Martha, you'll be first. Allie and Scott, go ahead and pick a card in front of Martha.
Alright, I pick number 2.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Martha, read your card.
Okay. One time during freshman year, I drank a lot the night before a final, so I did really bad, and my friends all thought it was funny and not that big of a deal because we did have a good time when we were drinking.
Dang, it sounds like you might need some new friends, but I guess it could be true.
What minor was it? Medical anthropology.
That's not usually a freshman class. What semester was it?
It was in the spring.
Alright. Did you pass?
The class or the final?
I guess either.
I barely passed the final, but I ended up not passing the class.
That sucks if it's true, but I don't think it is. I'm gonna say this is the light card.
I don't know, it could be true. I'm just gonna go with true, just to keep it interesting.
All right, Martha, is this a true confession or a lie?
Unfortunately, it was true.
Well, I am just as shocked as the audience. That point goes to Scott, but why didn't you tell us what happened?
Well, it started out, we all went to a friend's dorm room to study, but we did something really stupid, and somebody brought liquor, and we started taking shots after, I think we took one after every chapter. And I don't remember anything past chapter 3, so I guess we didn't get that far, but I ended up being really late to my 11 a.m. final, and my professor could tell I was hungover, and it was a big deal because I had only been permitted into the class because I did well in his intro class. But after that, he wasn't going to let me retake the final, and so I ended up having to take all the prerequisites for it before I can retake it and get it off my GPA.
Drinking can definitely lead to some negative consequences. But now it's time for our next contestant to tell their story or lie. Scott, it's your turn. So Allie and Martha, pick a card in front of Scott.
I pick card 1.
That sounds good to me.
All right, Scott, go ahead and read us your story.
Alright, my sophomore year, I drank every weekend and came to class hungover every Monday and Friday, and it really affected my GPA to the point where I lost a scholarship.
Every Monday and Friday. What days do you consider the weekend?
Well, me and my friends would usually go out for trivia on Thursday nights, and then the typical Friday, Saturday, and Sundays.
Okay, well, not counting the fact that Thursday isn't a weekend day, what scholarship did you lose?
It was an APS scholarship. I had to do some office work for about 75 hours a semester.
Okay, where'd you guys go for trivia?
We would change it up about every week and go somewhere different, different places.
There are a bunch of places around here that do Thursday trivia. Why didn't you stop drinking earlier?
Well, I figured since it was on the weekends, it would be okay to drink a little later.
And time is up. Martha, Allie.
I think that it's true.
I think that's true.
All right, Scott, was it true or a lie?
It sure was true. Sophomore year, I actually lost a scholarship, which was about $1,500 a semester. It really affected my GPA and really opened my eyes to what I was doing.
Well, even though you lost your scholarship, at least now you know and you can improve on your studies. Do you drink as much now as before?
No, I definitely don't drink nearly as much as I used to. After losing that scholarship, it really opened my eyes and changed my ways a little bit.
That's a great way to think about it. It can also help you monitor yourself and make sure you're drinking responsibly. But now it's time for our final round of Brew Confessions. Scott and Martha, pick a card in front of Allie.
How about card number 2?
That works for me.
All right, Allie, read us your story.
A couple semesters ago, I started drinking a lot. My friends were worried, but I didn't want them to believe that I had a drinking problem. One night, I drank myself to alcohol poisoning and had to go to the ER because of it.
Well, it was a couple of semesters ago.
Towards the second semester of my freshman year,
started drinking so much?
I was stressed with life and school stuff. I started drinking more, but the stress didn't go away. Then, when the stress went away, the alcohol use didn't.
What were you drinking the night you got alcohol poisoning?
I started out drinking a beer at a party, but then we did shots. I don't remember how many, but I think I had a margarita at some point. But I was just drinking what people handed me at that point.
How did you know you had alcohol poisoning?
I wasn't actually sure. My friends that were with me told me that I was barely conscious, and that they were the ones who worried about me.
All right, time is up. Scott, Martha, what do you think?
I think it might be a lie. The story doesn't really fit, and you don't really give me much of a drinker vibe coming from it.
I don't know, I think it might be true, because alcohol abuse doesn't have a specific mold and it can happen to anyone. It's also true.
Fair guesses, both of you. But Allie, what is it?
It's a lie. I have ever drunk once, and I didn't like it.
That's quite a twist from the story you just told us. So you've only ever drank once?
Yes, I've only ever drunk once before. I had a sip of wine and some beer on the same night, and I hated it. I didn't even get tipsy. I just thought it was all drugs, and I just don't.
Well, hey, good for you. If you don't like it, then there's no point to drink. I think it's good that you managed to not fall victim to social expectations in college, saying, you have to drink to fit in. But with problem drinking does come a wave of shame and stigma. The truth is, a lot of people are ashamed to admit that they might have a drinking problem. This could affect their decision to seek help or not. The term alcoholism has a negative stigma attached to it that many people don't want associated with their name, so they choose to keep their problems secret. And they don't seek help when they truly need it, can't bring themselves to endure the potential social backlash that they think they'll face. Alcoholism is often viewed as a disease during many Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. This can be an effective measure for decreasing the stigma of victim blame around alcoholism, and because it helps people see alcoholism as a normal illness that they need to get help with instead of just ignoring it or trying to write it out on their own. There's also stigma involved with college drinking, that is choosing not to drink can have real social consequences. A lot of people are under the impression that drinking is just a normal part of the college experience. They don't realize the risks of it since they may not have been exposed to the major consequences alcoholism can have. They also don't know the resources available to them or when they need help. But luckily, we'll be covering some of those resources in our next segment. We'll see you guys after the break, but remember, don't go anywhere as this next commercial has some valuable information for you as well.